Okay, so I wasn't really sure what to do with these. These are different like modules that you got with the Kickstarter, so I'm not sure off the top of my head if these are Kickstarter exclusive. Some of them came with the inside the Ancestor box, but I believe they are Kickstarter exclusive things. If I'm wrong with this, I'm sorry, but I just wanted to go over some of the modules and stuff that I got with the Kickstarter. So one of the first one that's really cool is you get this mammoth miniature here in its own little module, and then the insert for the base game actually has room for this. So I'm hoping that if this is a Kickstarter exclusive, that it's available aftermarket, or it does come with the Ancestor box, but it wasn't in the contents for Ancestors, so I'm thinking not. But anyway, when you use the mammoth, you're going to place the mammoth miniature near the terrain board, so not on it but near it. During the game, whenever you gain an ability that move camps, you may forego 2 camp movements to move the mammoth to an empty juncture of on the terrain board. And when you do, so this is going to place it between 3 hexes, basically is what that means. So unlike villages, this can include a junction touching the base terrain tile, so that's very important to note. The Eclipse Phase ability of the Warrior Tribe card also counts as move 2 camps, so that can also move the Mammoth. During the Eclipse Phase, the Mammoth competes for influence over the hexes it touches, as if another player, if its influence equals to the current round number, so if its first round is 1, if second round it's 2, and so on. During that Eclipse Phase, if you have less influence on a hex than a mammoth, you do not receive the benefits of the hex. So this is a way of like denying benefits of the different hex and the area control areas to an opponent, hopefully not yourself. However, if you have equal or greater influence than the mammoth and any other player, gain the depicted benefit on the hex twice. So this can deny people from harvesting on a hex, or double it, which is really, really nice. And that's basically what the mammoth adds to it, and it's just a little mini expansion. We also have these Mastodon cards here, and these ones you can replace in, and these ones you can tap for a meat, or during the Eclipse Phase, if I have one of them, it'll give me a meat. If I have 2 of them, it'll give me a meat and 2 points. So that's basically what these guys are. Here's another tile for the cave painting expansion, so I guess you can use 2 of them instead of 1. You'll probably have to replace a existing tile for that. You have to do that with the painter expansion. Here is a Canine Familiars module, and this one has several different wolves in it. So you're gonna have 3 sets of each that are gonna come in here, and I'll show you them here. So this one here, if you're gonna use that action area, you'll get a labor and an axe, and in the Eclipse Phase, you'll get a point. This one here, if you use this action space, you'll get a half labor and an axe. Eclipse Phase, you'll get a point. All these Eclipse Phase, you get a point. This one here, if you use that action space, you'll get a half labor and an axe. And if you use this action space, you'll get half labor and an axe. For this expansion itself, for setup, what you're going to do is you're going to place these out by the main board here, face up. When you place a figure on the rest action space, instead of drawing 1 card from the deck, you may take 1 Canine Familiar and add it to your hand. When taking a Canine Familiar, you may look through the deck and choose any one that you want. So basically, you're going to be placing these out to pick instead of your drawing for your rest action. So it makes your rest action slightly better. There's 2 more modules that I have here. This other module here is going to be the Aurora Borealis module. And this one, you have really nice cards for each of the factions here. This one here is for the lion faction, the wolf faction, the bison faction, and the bear faction. Now, set up for this, each player places their Aurora Borealis card face down at the bottom of their draw pile. With fewer than 4 players, return any unused cards to the box. So with this one, they are not considered tribe or culture cards, but they can be buried or discarded following the usual rules. When they're in your hand, you may play the Aurora Borealis cards at any time on your turn, even before playing culture cards. Play it face up above the player board, just like you would with the normal cards on here. Okay, so we'll go over what each of these cards here do. So the first one's a wolf one. So for this one here, whenever you resolve a move 1 camp or move 2 camps effect, source other than from a card, you're going to repeat this action a second time. Also, during the eclipse phase, if you play it for that, you'll be able to place a camp and move twice. So that is cool. Next one is going to be the bear faction here. The bear faction, whenever you are about to bury a card, you may instead gain 1 tribe card into your hand, which is really cool. And the eclipse effect, you can bury 3 cards. All right, so next we're going to have the lion tribe here. So the lion tribe is whenever you're about to tip an animal, you may instead place the top 2 cards from the animal deck face up in the hunting ground up to its limit. Then choose one of the animal cards from the hunting ground and place it in your animal area, which is really cool. For the eclipse there, you can gain a random animal from the top of the deck and tap an animal if you wanted to. Finally, you're going to have the bison tribe. The bison tribe's pretty straightforward. Discard 1 culture card from your hand and gain 2 idols, which is really nice. Eclipse phase ability on here is you're going to gain a culture card. And that's it for this Aurora Borealis module. We have 2 more left here. The other one here is going to be the Ceremonial Burial Grounds module. And you have this really cool art, so I'll show you this side, on each of these. Whoops, it's the wrong side. On each of these. And you have really cool effects on here for gaining points. So here for each of Ancestral Stones you have, you get 5 points. For each axe you have, you get 1 point. For every meat you have, you get 1 point. Here for every single one of the monolith things you have out, you get 2 points. Here for every tapped animal you have, you're going to get 3 points. Here for every camp that you have, you're going to get 1 point. And for every village you have, you're going to get 3 points. So how do you use that expansion? Well, in Ceremonial Grounds, you're going to shuffle the ceremonial cards, then place the number of them equal to the number of players plus 1 face up below the cultural display. So all the culture cards, you'll have 8 cultural 1 cards out at the first part of the game, and return all the unused ceremonial ground cards to the box. At the end of your turn in the eclipse phase, you may choose to take one of the available ceremonial cards. If you do, immediately gain the points based on the depicted criteria and turn the burial card sideways. So I'll be able to, I'd take this one here and I'll get a point for every camp that I have and 3 points for every village, and then I'll flip it this way and turn it to a side, showing that it was used. That's basically this expansion. So this gives you sort of like a global bonus that you want to probably race for to get before other players. This last one that I want to show you is the Squirrel and Nut promo. And this one has, oh no, this dire wolf shouldn't be in there. But, it has the nut, it has the saber-toothed squirrel, and it has a Yeti for some unknown reason. These guys here, I believe, I'll double check right quick. During setup, after hunting grounds is created, shuffle the squirrel card into the top half of the animal deck, and then shuffle the nut card into the bottom half of the deck. Each of the cards can be gained as an animal. The squirrel has no tip ability. Instead, during your turn in the eclipse phase, after resolving your tribe cards, but before gaining any benefits from the terrain board, you may place 2 cards from the animal deck face up in the hunting grounds up to its limit. Then choose 1 animal card from the hunting ground and place it in your animal area. The squirrel's worth no points, but see, the nut tip ability allows you to exchange the nut with 1 other animal card from the hunting grounds. Tip the nut and take an animal card and place the nut in its place. At the end of the game, if you also have the squirrel, gain 8 points. If you do not have the squirrel, lose 5 points. So this Yeti doesn't go in here, but we'll look at the Yeti here in a second. So basically, this is the eclipse phase value here, and you're looking for the nut to go with it to gain these points down the bottom. So if I end up the nut at the end of the game, I'll lose 5 points, but if I have the squirrel with it, I will get 8. And that's how these 2 cards work. This Yeti, which I'm assuming you just shuffle in just fine, has eclipse phase. For every sacred stone you have, you get a point. So that's not too bad. So that is basically what I wanted to show you. These are different modules that we got with the Kickstarter, and I really wasn't sure where to put them in or what to do with them. So I just made one video with all of them in there. I'll probably call this the Kickstarter extras or whatnot video, depending after I look this up to see how these come. But all these expansions just add little things to the game. I don't think anything in here is actually necessary for Endless Winter. So I don't think you should feel left out if you didn't get these, other than having a hole in your base game where this goes. Doesn't really matter. I don't think they really change much of anything to really denote that you should have to have them. I do like the this Canine Familiars. I think that's really cool. I like that it pumps up the rest action, but out of all these, I think this is the only one that I would maybe just throw in a game to play with. The other ones, whatever. So that's my thoughts on all these extras. Thank you for watching.